Hey everybody, welcome back to TomGirl. This is episode 37 and I'm here with Rose Wetzel. She's obstacle course racer and American Ninja Warrior. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Little girl power song for you.
Yeah, I love it. That's right.
Welcome, Rose. Thank you so much for coming. I'm so excited because I'm just a huge fan of yours and I just think you are the ultimate badass. So I'm so excited to talk to you today.
Thank you. I'm pumped to be here. Thanks for having me.
Okay. Well, let's first start out where maybe most people might recognize your face and your extreme athletic ability most from. But let's talk about American Ninja Warrior first.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell us, like, how many, because you're back out, you're going to be doing more with the show, so they're going to see more of you.
Yep, so I just had a baby 7 months ago, so I wasn't on last year, I was on the 2 previous years, had such a blast, amazing group of people, such an awesome competition, and I'm back on again, so I'm excited to see kind of what mama can do.
How is it different now having taken the time out and having a baby and all of that?
You know, it's different for sure, and it's just gotten me to kind of step back and just have some perspective in my life. Like when you are taking care of a kid, it's just the most important thing, and you just I feel like I'm living in the moment more, because it's like, you know, in both ways, like if there's like an immediate need, like a diaper blowout, it's like doesn't matter what else is going on, you got to go take care of that diaper. But if your baby also was like smiling or laughing for the first time, you're like, that's all that matters, is like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. So whether or not I had a great workout that day or not so great workout that day or whatever, it just kind of doesn't really matter because the perspective is there, which has been helpful because, you know, not every workout is that great when you have a kid. It's kind of like a 2 steps forward, 1 step back process. But I'm so pumped that the producers at American Ninja Warrior still believe in me, and they're willing to, you know, give me another chance. And I just have like all this pent up energy, and I'm like, give me to a starting line. I can't wait to get out there. So
it was. How long ago did you find out that you were going to be coming back for the next season?
Yeah, only a couple weeks ago. So I'm super pumped and got work to do, no doubt. But yeah, I'm jazzed to do it. So yeah.
What's your training like for it?
You know, it's so fun. So I will sometimes just take like a 10-pound weight vest and just go to the park and go to playground and just do monkey bars and do like, you know, push-ups and burpees to monkey bars and pull-ups. And it's just like almost like being a little kid again, but a workout. So, yeah.
So you just get creative with it, too, and try different things.
Yeah, get creative. And and it's like, it's almost like obstacle course racing is a little bit more like my dinner, my meat and potatoes, what, you know, I do professionally, pays my bills and stuff. But then American Ninja Warrior almost is like this dessert. Like, go have fun, there's less pressure, and it's just like, yeah, like playing. And you just like, yeah, having a great time, so.
What do you find most challenging about the American Ninja Warrior course?
You know, every once in a while, there'll be someone who's like, you know, it doesn't seem like it's even that hard, really. And it's like, okay, here's the thing. There are some, like, intangibles, like things that you don't realize are there. You are really high in the air. So even if you have the grip strength to jump from this thing to that thing, like, you're really high in the air. So there's just, like, another element of, like, oh, my gosh. And there are all these cameras on you, right? And so even if you're comfortable on the camera, it's still just, like, all these cameras are on you, and you don't get another shot. It's not like, oh, man, you're the best, and you filmed the first thing. Let's let you go get. No, you're done, right?
Yeah.
There's the drama of, like, the best person ever fell on the first obstacle. So it's like, it's a TV show, right? So they don't even mind the drama. They don't. So it's a little like nerve-wracking, but in a fun way.
Now, how much do you get to like be on the actual course before that? Like
no.
So that's another factor.
It's all new. Exactly. It is all new, and it makes it exciting because no one gets a chance to go on it. So it's all just kind of like, ready, set, go, and you just give it all you have, and you know, hopefully you're proud of yourself no matter what, if you're really giving it your best shot, and it's always something to learn, right? So yeah.
Is that something then, do you have a space where you work out that has anything similar, or do you try to simulate what might be on the course?
Yeah, so I was living in Seattle, where I'm from, up until just 2 months ago, and then we moved, my husband Tim and I, from Seattle to Boulder, because there are just mountains to train on, and there are ninja gyms too. And the thing is that some things are just really hard to recreate, like, you know, by yourself on a playground. And so now that I can actually go to a real ninja gym, it allows me to practice the warp wall and practice the salmon ladder and this more specific stuff. So I'm hoping I have to still carve out some like time for myself to do that, because mama life is all encompassing, but at the same time, and awesome. But at the same time, I just want to maximize my opportunities that I have still as an athlete too.
So when was this thought to first do the American Ninja Warrior? Because I know I saw your audition tape online.
Yeah.
Right? Like, so what was the process to get on the show for you?
Yeah. So I mean, I guess I ran in college, and so running's always been my first and primary just love, right? And then from there, I ended up doing obstacle course racing, because someone was like, hey, you're a personal trainer and you're pretty strong for a runner. Why don't you try this obstacle course racing? And I was like, well, that looks fun and like a totally new challenge. Sure. Run through mud and run over there. Like, okay. No idea what I was doing, but totally loved it. And then from there, just like a year after that, of doing that a lot, like Spartan races mainly, I got a call from American Ninja Warrior, and they were like, oh, have you considered doing this show? And I was like, well, I hadn't. It seems a lot different. Like, I don't know if I have the skills to do it. And they're like, well, audition, write it, make a video and stuff. And I was scared. I was like, oh man, I don't know. I mean, I know I can run and climb a rope, but can I swing through the air? And so I did a little bit of practicing. I went to one ninja gym for one day, and I was like, okay, well, here we go. That's all right.
Wow. Yeah. And then there's also, I think you were with like Casey and Jesse. You've had some other experience with the other women on that show.
Yes.
How's that community for you?
Okay. They are awesome. Like, especially those two, like Casey Catanzaro, the first time I was in her region, and she literally, like, we had met like once, said hi and stuff, and literally I walk into this room full of ninjas, and she sees me and is like, oh, come over here, and she scoots her bum off to the edge of her chair so that I can sit on the chair with her. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is like the super famous, awesome, amazing ninja, and she's just really kind and not acting like I'm the best ever. And it was really neat to see just how cool she was. And she's just, and like, it's funny, I was like, just over there on the set today, and getting lost in the parking lot. There's a huge parking lot at Universal Studios where they're filming. I'm not competing today, just cheering, competing later, but I got lost there last year, and Casey like drove me all through the parking lot to help me find my car. I mean, she's just a total sweetheart. And then Jessie Graff, she lets me stay at her house whenever I'm in LA. In her ninja loft, with her pig. Not with her pig in the loft, but yes.
She has a pig too?
She has a pet pig, because why not?
And she's a Nebraska girl, right?
She is a Nebraska girl. Yes.
There's a lot of pet pigs sometimes out there.
Yeah. So they're fantastic, and what I love about the community is that people just empower each other, and we're not competing against each other. There's a ninja versus ninja show that we do compete against each other, but still, in general, the community is really supportive, because nobody has to lose for anybody to win, right? So we're all just competing against the course, against our own best effort, and we want to see other people do well. And the women, like, we love seeing each other do really well, because these glass ceilings that keep getting shattered, and you see someone else do it, and you're like, gosh, maybe then I could do it too. And it's so empowering just to see women go out there just strong, aggressive, and just get after their goals, and just get it done.
Yeah. What are your goals going into this next season?
So I have to find a balance, right? Because there's a part of me that's like mentally, especially after like labor and delivery and stuff, I'm like mentally, I'm like ready to like, oh man, I can do anything. And just so excited to race after not racing for so long. But then physically, a part of me is like, but you have to remember that you haven't, your core strength isn't quite there yet. Like, you have to kind of respect also where you are physically, so you don't mentally, race this hard, especially with the obstacle course racing, and then do too much, and then get injured for a while. With American Ninja Warrior, I feel like you're less likely to get injured. You just kind of like go for it, and hope that all the timing happens, and that you have the grip strength needed and stuff. So goals wise, what I really want is to be the first like postpartum, like within a year of having a baby, woman up the warp wall, because that's something that hasn't happened yet. There really have only been a few women up the warp wall, and no one that I know of who's like just come back after having a kid. So I would love that. Either way, I want to make it to finals, Las Vegas finals. So that's top 5 women. But I guess my broad goal really, instead of those like very specific goals, is just to inspire other people, you know, just anyone who's like had an injury and has to really work their way back to where they were, or had a baby and has to work their way back to where they were. Just just to say, like, it's not always going to be easy. It's going to take a while, but if you persevere, you can get there.
Yeah, great goals. Great to watch you. You talked about. Let's talk a little bit more about the obstacle course racing, because you said that that's your bread and butter. You're professional. Yeah, and you were number one. Ranked, right, for a while there?
In the beginning of this season. Yeah, in the beginning of the season a few years ago, usually like Spartan has shorter races first and then longer races in the season. So, and I like the shorter races more. So I'm always like, shorter races. So I go do a bunch.
Of you too.
Oh my, yeah, there I am. So yeah, and then at the long World Championship race, that's like can take like 3 hours to do up and down a mountain. I've been top 5 a couple times. So, and that was my goal, was to be top 5 and just get myself to like get used to running those longer races. I mean, I ran a 2-minute race in high school and college, 800 meters, half mile, and so now I'm doing these 17 miles up and down a mountain with obstacles, and I've had to really push myself to go out and run for hours, entertaining myself. But it's been good. It's made me a more well-rounded athlete, so that's good.
Well, the 800 though is no joke of a race, because I was looking at you up, and because I ran the 400 and the 800 in high school too.
Oh yeah.
And I was looking at your times, and I was like, whoa! And then I was like, and the 800, it used to be this like slower kind of, and then it just became like. Just 2 400s. This is just sprint the whole time, right?
It's crazy. It is a sprint for such a long time, and like you just work these 2 different systems so hard, and people either love it or they hate it, and I happen to love it. But yeah, I can see why people hate it. It's just like, you're done and you just spent.
So you were an amazing high school athlete. In track and everything. Did you play other sports in high school as well?
I played soccer, but just running's my thing.
And then you went on and you ran at Georgetown, right?
Yeah.
And had many accolades there as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, actually, to be honest, and not that many. I was a junior All-American, but never like an All-American. And I think that I've always been a late bloomer, and I think that I was training on other people's training programs who were better than me, which is good. I wanted to be with people who were better than me. But it wasn't until really after I got out of college and kind of like worked at a summer camp and had my fun and, wasn't super fit for a while. But then I came back and really got into it. And I did it because I wanted to do it. I didn't even have a coach anymore telling me that I had to do it. I didn't have a scholarship on the line. It was just like me doing exactly what I wanted to do because I wanted to do it. And I kind of like fell in love with it again because it was no longer a job or anything like that. I just don't know. I just love it.
That's an interesting aspect because I know college sports sometimes it is glamorous. It seems like such a wonderful thing, but I've had numerous athletes have the experience where it does sometimes take the love away, and it can be more political or more just work, and you don't really have the college experience, and you're young.
Yeah.
Can you talk more about maybe what you went through with that?
Sure. I mean, it's fantastic to do a sport in college because you have this community right away, this family, this team. And, I can't actually help you stay out of trouble. Like we're traveling to a track meet on the weekend, which means I'm not going to a party, which is probably just as well. But at the same time, it can be, college can be just really so encompassing with like you have, so much homework to do and classes, and then you have these workouts that are really intense, and then you're running and you're strength training and this and that, and you're also like, maybe trying to date or trying to, make, great friendships. So they're extra important because, your friends are your family now. Your team is your family now. So there's just a lot going on. And if you're an overachiever, you're trying to do it all really well too. And do I stay up late for this test or do I go to bed for my track meet? And at some point it can just be like, just overwhelming. And at some point you're like, man, I used to love this so much. And now it's just really, especially if you aren't hitting the times you want to hit and when you get pretty close to as fast as you can get, and you have a year maybe where you don't ever run faster and don't get a personal record at all, and you're like, not so fun. But hopefully everybody who does a college sport or even in high school, people can get burnt out. I bet you can find a way to rekindle that love again, because usually there's a reason you really got into it. And yeah, if you find a version of it that's more fun, maybe you do 5K road races in costumes like I did for a while after college to like kind of get back into it. But yeah.
Yeah, well, let's talk about that fun, because what I love so much about going through like your Instagram and reading your blog is your amazing, positive, like bright attitude, and ways that you find ways to like have fun. Like you said, wear costumes. Like, yeah, you saw your Wonder Woman costume and different things. So
yeah, I think that part of it for me is, you know, if someone's gonna race well at a high level or at any level, really, it doesn't have to be just a certain level. It's important to periodize. So instead of just like running hard all the time, training hard every day, racing year round, and like trying to get better and better and better, it's important both physically and mentally to give yourself some time to like ease into it. So what I would do is the start of the year, I would wear costumes and like for 5K road races, because it would allow me to be like, okay, I still would run hard, I'd still run as hard as I could, but it would remind me to not like take every single race so seriously. Like if I don't win this, it's gonna be for, you know, terrible. Because there was a time when I was racing like almost every other weekend, and it just it's hard to put that much heart into every single race, and then you get sick or you know whatever, travel and your training's off, and then but you still need to win that race or need to do whatever time, and it's just like, woo, I want to be doing this for a really long time. And so I always try to make my decisions based on not just how do I have this best race I can, but like how do I have a really good season where I progress throughout the season. So maybe my races in the beginning aren't the most stellar amazing ever, because I'm being a little bit more relaxed with it. I really hone in when it matters and mentally prepare and visualize and all that. But also throughout my life, like I want to be doing this when I'm 85 years old. Like I want to be, and so I'm trying not to do anything that's like if I need to take a rest day, I take a rest day. If I need to, you know, kind of back off in this department or that department because an injury's coming on or something, I'm going to do that. And even if all my friends or all my competitors are all training hard and I'm not today, I know that at the end of the day, making those like long-term sustainable decisions will allow me to last longer. And really, I mean, if you're just, you know, running, you know, a good solid training program for a few decades, at some point you do well just because it's like, man, I've run a lot of miles. Like at some point it's like if you're not injured for a long time, it can just help.
yeah. Do you have any other advice for people out there who are doing the Spartan races or other obstacle course races, that things that you've learned or pitfalls along the way to look out for?
Yeah, these races, there's so much fun. And there's just so much to train for that it's easy to overtrain, because you're like, this is so much fun, and I have so many, you know, friends, or even if you don't have any friends, you can do it with you don't know anybody. That's great too. You'll meet people there. But it's just like, people want to do well and do their best at the same time. There's so many things to train for, as far as like the running portion, and then the strength training portion, and the like relative strength, like going over monkey bars, going, you know, across monkey bars, but then the absolute strength, like carrying a really heavy sandbag for 5 minutes up a mountain. So it's like, and then throwing your spear, and someone could just go crazy training for everything every day, and at some point you have to say, okay, train for, you know, this, and this, and kind of write it out, and then, you know, take a day off, and, you know, just like do your best. Like just that day in the starting line, no one has trained 100% for all the 10 aspects of the skills needed, right?
Yeah.
So just you do your best. And, you know, I like to tell people to have performance goals and outcome goals. So what is it? Yeah. So one is, what is it? An outcome goal is like, I want to get like top 5 in my age group, or whatever, you know, something more specific. But a performance goal is something that's more in your control, because you know who's going to show up. There could be 10 amazing new people showing up who beat you, and you're like, oh no, but you could have actually had a really great race and done your best, but there's just these new people. But a performance goal you can control. So performance goal is more like, I'm going to, you know, keep a positive mindset during the sandbag carry, which is my least favorite obstacle. I'm going to, you know, really focus on driving my elbows back as I run, or, you know, something that I'm normally not good at, or whatever. And so you can control that and keep that in mind, as opposed to, I'm going to win this race. Well, maybe you will, but maybe you won't, or maybe, you know, that you don't always know that, right? So yeah.
Yeah, and then that gives you something to be like if you don't win, if that's your only goal, like at least you can look back and be like, oh,
Right.
I hit my performance goal, or I hit
Exactly.
my
Yeah. Exactly. Yep.
All right. Well, real quick, guys, if you want to hear more from people like Rose, who are so fun and positive and motivating, we got another show for you too. So if you want to have fun, learn, and grow in all areas of your life, for those who do, we got a podcast for you. Conversations with Maria Menounos podcast edition is hosted by our AfterBuzz TV founder, Maria Menounos, and drops every Friday on iTunes. Conversations with Maria Menounos features celebrity and influencer interviews, along with secrets and tips on how to better in all aspects of life, from health and wellness to career and relationships, finances, and more. Let our Maria be the big sister you never had. So just go to iTunes and subscribe to Conversations with Maria Menounos, and it's free, guys. Be sure to rate and comment, and when you do, let Maria know it was us who got you there. All right, Conversations with Maria Menounos podcast edition. So check that out now. It's fabulous.
Awesome.
All right. Okay, so I want to talk too about we're getting a little bit of like your philosophies, but I know that it's big for you to also give back, and like I see you always helping like girls, and you know, what does that mean?
I
to
mean,
you?
I try to. You know, I feel like I'm always like, oh, there's so much more I want to do, and there's like so much limited time with training, and I have my own big family that I want to be involved with and stuff. And then now I have a little family, my little baby, and it's like, oh my gosh, I wish I had like 10 lives I could do all these different things with. But I feel compelled to give back in a lot of ways because people have done so much for me. I've had awesome coaches who've gone above and beyond. I've had great friends, parents who have done incredible things for me above and beyond. And so it's just like, I just feel like I want to keep that kind of pay it forward circle going. In my optimistic world, we all kind of help each other out and stuff. So whenever I can give back, I like to. And sometimes it's something as simple as just hanging out after a race and taking pictures with people, and like getting down to a little kid's eye level and being like, how was your race, and making sure that they know that their race is important too, not just mine. And I just love it.
Yeah, I liked a lot of them where you said you were like building confidence in young girls, or everybody, not just
Everybody,
girls.
But especially the young girls, because let's face it, like they don't always get built up, I feel like, and so it's important to make sure that they feel confident and they can make good decisions and go throughout their life with a sense of poise. And I don't know, I just think that's really important. And now that I'm a mom to a little girl, and I want to make sure that she's got the empowerment to stand up for herself and to chase after her dreams, and to not feel like there's any reason why she can't.
And then you also have a blog, so where you can talk about, use that as a platform for athletes and discuss fitness and other issues that you go through. Tell me more about the blog.
Yeah, I actually have a professional writing certificate that I stayed half a summer at in Georgetown, and like I feel like for a long time I never really used it, and then I was like, gosh, like I like to write, and like people like stories, and I don't know, we all have stories. So I was like, all right, I'm just gonna write my own blog, and maybe nobody will read it, but that's okay. I'll have my stories out there, and people have been really receptive to it. So it's just been a neat way to just share, struggles and triumphs that we all have. How to overcome obstacles in life. It's so great being an obstacle course racer. Writing about obstacles, and sometimes I like to speak at schools. And just like last week, there was a local school that had this whole obstacle course in their PE class. And there were some little, girls, probably in about third grade. They were part of the STEM program, the science, technology, engineering, and math. And they met me before I spoke and showed me the obstacles that they engineered. And I was like, that's so awesome. Like, yeah. But yeah, so just any way I can find to inspire others, I like to, because I've had so many people inspire me, and then especially those young girls, just like showing them that, like, come on, you can do it. Don't let anybody tell you can't.
Yeah. When I think what's so awesome too is you're so open. Like what I enjoyed about your blog and your posts and things too, that it's just. You're not always posting just all the good stuff, like you keep it real. And that's what people can relate to and stuff. Yeah, and like speaking of obstacles, we can talk a little about actually how I've come to know you is through your husband Tim, who is from my hometown, and his brother was in my brother's class. Yeah. But yeah, so he had cancer, and you talk about going through. So how can you talk about how going through those obstacles that are maybe down really struggles. in your life to deal with.
Yeah, exactly. More than like, oh no, I didn't hit my spear throw to Spartan Race. I have to do 30 burpees and I'm 2 minutes behind now. Yeah, I mean, that's not fun, but let's face it, that is nothing compared to the real life obstacles that we go through. And we all go through them, right? So, fortunately, not everybody has cancer like Tim had, and he is doing very well. So I want to just put that out there. But he just, no known reason, just a rare abdominal cancer called PMP, pseudomyxoma peritoni. And he had to have this 12-hour surgery, and they took out his spleen, and they took out his stomach lining, and no major organ was taken out, but at the same time, we didn't know for sure how much they'd have to scrape out, and his appendix burst a few years ago, and like spread this mucinous cancerous cell stuff out, and yeah, he just found it, just kind of like even not even just accidentally, pretty much. 12-hour surgery, 11-inch incision, months to recover, and he's a trooper. He's got a great blog. You want a really good writer who is very really good at being having perspective and keeping things in stride. Like, it was really hard for me to see him go through that, but he was the one going through it. Like, I would be keep my positive attitude, it's gonna be great. And then after your surgery, when everything's great again, we'll do this. But in deep down, I'm going for a run, oh my god, what if it's not okay? It's oh my god, but it's just, we took one day at a time, and we tried to focus on, it's going to be fine. He's going to be fine after this. It's going to be, and it was rough. I mean, he was in the hospital for 10 days. I was there with him, and seeing him just so out of it, and he had this tube down his throat, and he just was just suffering, right? Just suffering. But yeah, he made it through, and is here and doing well, and now we have our little baby, and he's with her right now. He's such a great dad.
Beautiful baby too.
Thank you. Oh, he's such a great dad. So yeah, but it's hard, right? It's hard, and hopefully everyone has a good support system. But at the same time, I've moved a lot, so it's sometimes you have to create your own support system in your own little family, but even in yourself, and that might mean that you have to look in the mirror and be like, okay, we can do this. You just kind of and catch yourself, going down that spiral of negative thoughts, which maybe I'm the only one who does it, but if somebody tells me I'm not, it's just catch yourself and be like, no. And sometimes I have this tactic of change your environment. So I've had a counselor before be like, just look at what's around. If your mind is kind of going towards just oh my gosh, what if it's not okay? What if it's really bad? Just okay, look around the room and be like, okay, yellow, black, blue shirt, distract yourself almost, pull your mind out of it. Green trees, blue car, and stop that negative spiral. And that's been helpful. I mean, I wish I could say I just meditate and breathe and do yoga every day, but it's I don't. I wish I did. But so, just kind of I'm expecting the best, and you can also be smart and just kind of prepare for things, but at the same time, expect the best, and just really cherish your time together with everyone, and know that we're all. No one's really guaranteed another day, right? So it's make the most of it.
Yeah, and you're also a big advocate on talking about mental health issues as well.
Yeah, that runs in my family, and so many people don't talk about it. And it's interesting. When people found out that Tim had cancer, people were so helpful. People helped us pay our medical bills. People sent flowers and cards and well wishes, and that was really, really helpful. But the thing is that when you have a mental illness, you don't get those things. No one says oh man, here's some flowers for your depression or your bipolar, or it seems like you're swinging this way. How can I help? People more just wah. Yeah. And it would be really nice to see that change because it's so prevalent in if people think oh, I don't know anybody who has mental illness, it's well, they're probably not telling you about it. They're probably suffering in silence and putting on a facade. So, and not that every single person who has a mental illness is suffering all day long. People are living normal lives too, doing their thing, but it's nice to just probably be able to talk about it if you're having a rough patch or something. So
Yeah, for sure. That was actually, each week here we pick a TomGirl of the week, and today my TomGirl of the week is actually a male, but it's Kevin Love because of that, because of him coming out and sharing his article about his panic attack and mental, because I used to suffer from those too. So it's like, in people, I never told anybody. There's so many people that don't, and you just try to continue acting like you have everything together all the time. So
because you think you have to. Yeah, and you realize, oh, a lot of other people do it. Oh, you have it too. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, what do you do when you have a panic attack? Oh, that's a good tactic. Maybe I'll try that. It's like, then you can have a conversation about it, as opposed to like, oh no, I'm so weird and I'm the only one. No, you're not, and you're not weird. This is just this is life.
Which just builds it up more and more.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. What any other? I know we only have like 5 minutes left. I'm just like all the other nuggets I can suck out of you before you go. But yeah, any other just I guess tips for people either racing or obstacles, or just on staying so like amazingly positive and
thanks.
Right.
Yeah, it's just it does take effort. It's I've noticed that even more ever since I had a baby and I've had less sleep. On one hand, it's like, this is so great. I have this snuggly, cute, awesome baby, and like, oh, she's smiling and laughing. It just lights up my world. And then she's like crying the next minute because I'm trying to clip her nails, and oh no, I hit her finger, and oh, I'm a terrible parent. It's like, no, don't play that terrible parent game. Like, you're just doing the best you can, But it's like, it takes effort to like catch myself being negative, like and redirect it to a more positive mindset, and it's just when I'm tired from baby life, it's just like harder to do it, and I realize, oh wow, like I feel like I was naturally really positive, but now that I'm like not sleeping as much, and like I didn't realize how much effort I was putting into it. But some days I just like, if I'm at the gym working out, like I'll just like not watch the news. I'll be like, okay, which is the step mill that doesn't have the news in front of it? Like, just kind of like taking control of my environment as much as I can, and like surrounding myself with awesome, uplifting people, and who will be happy for me when things go well, and be just as there for me when things don't go well, and just finding your people, and just avoiding situations and environments that cause unnecessary stress with things you can't control. So,
any particular foods or items, like good nutritional, or brands or anything that you like for racing, or just in general? Yeah.
Well, I love my Clif bars, especially when traveling and racing. I'm like, oh man, their nut butter bars are crazy good. I'm like, oh, boy, I need you more in my life. But just I try to eat as healthy as I can, but at the same time, I also never beat myself up. If I'm at a birthday party and there's cake, I'm gonna have some cake. Like I just try to really listen to how my body feels, as in, you eat something and then 20 minutes later it's like, do I feel good or do I not? Like, if I eat pizza, I actually don't feel good 20 minutes later. But if I have ice cream, I feel fine. But so it's like, just like listening and like, how do I feel, and is this worth it? So having a nice balance, and never beating yourself up. I don't deny myself anything. It's just like, I eat the things that make me feel good. And that's usually really healthy stuff, and occasional treats.
For people out there doing courses as well, or wanting to get into those courses, is there any course that's your favorite, or any event that like the best? Or
well, I love Spartan sprints because I love the intensity and the just kind of it's more obstacle dense too. I love the different obstacles. I'd say Spartan sprints.
And then just we talk adventure and travel here. Any I'm putting you on the spot on this one because we didn't talk about this, but any travel spots or adventure spots that you just was like your favorite trip ever?
Well, I love Santa Monica Beach in LA. That's like my go-to little like mecca of like ocean and people playing and being healthy and fit and swinging around in the sun. But I went to Thailand for my honeymoon, Tim and I did, and that was fabulous. Just the food and people were excellent, and so I love my mountain life in Boulder, Colorado. But I'll take a beach too, and Mama needs to relax.
You're new to Boulder. Any spots you found yet there that?
I just Chautauqua Park. We went there a few days ago, and that's the really big common place to go. But I'd never been, and I was just like, oh, this is so fantastic. Like, just people out there hiking and enjoying nature, and it's just great to be a part of an area that really embraces the outdoor life.
Yeah, Colorado's beautiful.
Yeah.
So amazing. Okay, let's talk about any upcoming things. So I know we got the show. When people can watch that?
Yeah, so American Ninja Warrior will air in a few months. Usually it's like kind of June, July-ish on NBC, Monday nights. So fun. And then I'll do Spartan Races. That'll be on NBC Sports. And those will start to air also kind of in the summer. And then the Spartan World Championship will be on NBC. And yeah, that's mainly what I'm going for. It's like, yeah.
So any over upcoming, like, say next 5 years or sort of goals, or because I know you like.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, someday I'd like to do an Ironman. That's on my bucket list. And I don't know. Parasail? I don't know if it's or no, not parasail, paraglide. Yeah, jumping off a that would be fun. So
I would place you while you're out here, just go down to La Jolla. It's like an hour and a half away, and there's a great place. And I'm blanking. Torrey Pines paragliding thing. It's
okay, cool.
Yeah,
Because I'm always like running in the park, people are paragliding over me. I'm like, one of these days, I've got to do that. Yes, that thrill. I'm all about it.
You'll love it because this is beautiful. It's right off the cliff, so it's like the gorgeous. You'll see the whole coastline.
Awesome.
Yeah, there you go.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate it. You taking the time, and I can't wait to watch you compete this year.
Thank you. My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Of course. And tell everybody now where they can follow you on social media.
Yeah, awesome. So I'm on Instagram as @RunningRosie and Twitter @RoseWetzel, and Facebook the page is Rose Wetzel. So yeah.
And I'm sorry, did you already say the blog?
And my blog is rosewetzel.com. So everything is Rose Wetzel except for some reason Instagram is @RunningRosie.
Awesome. All right, guys. Well, you can follow me at TomGirl TV or JJ Jurgens, and we'll see you here again next week. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.